two, three, four.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Oh Brother. Today's movie is Dr. No, released in 1962. This movie stars Sean Connery, Ursula Andress, Joseph Wiseman, Jack Lord, Bernard Lee, Anthony Dawson, John Kitzmiller, Zena Marshall, Eunice Gayson, Lois Maxwell, W.M. Forster Davis, and Margaret LeWars. Based on the novel by Ian Fleming, written by Richard Maybaum, Joanna Harwood, and Berkeley Mather, and directed by Terrence Young. Bryce, can you give a quick synopsis for this one?
Absolutely, Drake. British government agent James Bond seeks answers in a case involving the disappearance of a colleague and the disruption of the American space program. As always, this podcast will include spoilers, but before we get into all that, I want to know, what do you think makes a great spy movie?
Yeah, so obviously, the trope of having all the cool gadgets or whatnot, that's all fun. All that stuff, the suits and whatnot. I think the thing that really makes a good spy movie is the script. The script has to be really smart. Because I don't know about you, but there's many times where I'm watching a movie or a TV show and I guess the twist 5 minutes in and I end up being right. So I'm like, well, why do you need an international spy to figure this shit out?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, for me, it's the balancing of the tone, because spies are inherently a little silly. You getting that tone right of having this world-ending threat while also having a gadget that ejects you out of a car. It's trying to find that right balance, and that's really important for me because I love a good gadget, I love a good chase, and I love a good threat with memorable villains with unique looks. And honestly, this one got this formula kind of all starts here in many ways. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but the groundwork for a lot of our favorite spy movies is all here. It's really impressive, in all honesty, how much they got right on their first go around with this. Now, granted, this isn't my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you get a little bit of everything that you want in a spy movie in this. Now, we were talking before we started recording, no gadgets. A little bummed out about that, but fuck, they got nearly everything else right. To kind of get into it just slightly, talking about how the movie even came to be in the first place. So in 1952, Ian Fleming wrote the spy novel Casino Royale and created the character of James Bond. And then in 1954, CBS made a television version of Casino Royale to no success at all. And that kind of just put everything on the back burner because Ian Fleming was like, well, if it didn't work on TV, it's definitely not going to work in the movies. So he's like, I'm not making that.
How wrong
and then
he was.
A man named... no kidding, right? And then Albert Broccoli was a big Hollywood producer at the time, but made most of his movies in the UK. And at the time, Harry Saltzman had the rights to Bond, and when Albert tried to auction them off of him, he told him that he wanted to produce the films as well, which was how that partnership was born. Then David Picker was the president of United Artists at the time, and when this new duo came into the office and told them they had the rights to Bond, he did that Leonardo DiCaprio thing where he leans forward in the chair, and I was like, whoa. And they wanted to make a deal to make the movie, and at that time, at least in United Artists, they would make these insanely complex deals without any written agreement and then just took their word for it, which
that's crazy.
Never fly. Yeah. And then they kind of just got the ball rolling from there. And Fleming wrote that book in 52, and then Sean Connery was filming Bond in January of 62, full decade later.
And here we are.
Yeah. And here we are 60 years later. 70? Jesus. Oh my God.
Holy moly.
Yeah. But shit, man, there's a lot of fun to be had in this one.
There is a lot of fun. I think I do want to take a quick pause to kind of bring up the not so good things about, early on Bond. How originally Ian Fleming asked his friend Noel Coward to play Dr. No, but declined, so the role went to Joseph Wiseman. And in this movie, Dr. No was half German and half Asian, and both actors are neither Asian or German, as well as Zena Marshall, who played the role of Miss Taro, is also white. So,
Yeah.
obviously, these movies were made in the 60s. Yeah, I just want to, I think it's important to bring attention to that.
It's just crazy because they have Asian actors as extras in the movie.
Yes, they do.
So it's not like couldn't find them. They just didn't want to, which makes it all the more racist.
Yes.
And it's like, if you don't want an Asian person or an Asian villain, you just make him white. Why make this extra step of racism?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not that it's right, but like it's just insane.
No, because I don't think him being Asian has anything to actually put into the plot, does it? Like, I mean, he got his money because he ripped off the Tong crime family, but like, you could have said any crime family from a white place and it would have been fine. Or just make the actor Asian.
This isn't where it ends either.
No.
So, Margaret Loires played the photographer and was cast when the crew came to Jamaica and saw her working at the airport. She was like an airline attendant.
Mm-hmm.
And she was offered the role of Miss Taro, but declined because she didn't want the sexual themes involved. Not because she wasn't Asian. So that's his own knowledge. She's a Jamaican woman, and she in fact won Miss Jamaica in '61. But they put makeup on her to make her look Asian as well. So, and then it gets even further. It gets even more messy than this, and we'll get back to the race stuff. But this just put a whole other bad taste in my mouth. But she revealed in 2022 that director Terrence Young sexually assaulted her on the way to the rap party. And when she declined his advances multiple times, he told her that he'd cut her out of the film, to which she said she didn't care because she already had been paid, which, good for her. Mm-hmm. Then the crew asked her to come in and dub her audio, which she also declined, so they got a voice actor to do it instead.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So, going back to the race stuff now, we have Ursula Andress, who played Honey Rider. She is a Swedish actress, and they put makeup on her entire body to make her seem more native to Jamaica.
She did not at all, by the way.
No. And on top of that, you have Miss Jamaica in your cast.
She's right there.
It's just, why not get her to do it? Like, fuck, man. Like,
I couldn't even, like, when I was watching it, I couldn't even tell they were trying to make her look native. I thought she was just a Russian gal.
Yep. Could have fooled me. I have no idea what the thought process was there. And then she also had her lines dubbed by a German voice actor, Nikki Vandersil, because her accent was too thick. But so it's just fucking, like, I just like picked the wrong people for seemingly every other part besides Bond. But you know what? Like, she made an impression on the audience at the time. So she ended up winning the Golden Globe for Most Promising Newcomer. Ursula Andress, not any of the other names that I listed. Which is just insane because it's not even her voice doing the thing. She's just the one on set. So I don't know. It's super weird. And like there were other problems like definitely going on in here, but these are the most egregious ones.
And I think Bryce and I can agree that if we're going to talk about a movie like this, stuff like that needs to be brought up into the conversation because we're not just going to gloss over it. We're going to talk about movies, good history of it, and the unfortunate history of it.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, like, when you have a movie that you love and you find out something bad about it, like how do you go about like that relationship? Like, because for me, I love The Wizard of Oz, but like the history on that set is insane, and every time I watch that movie, I kind of feel a little icky watching it, and I don't know if I'm supposed to just get over it, if I'm supposed to not watch the movie anymore. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do as a viewer.
Yeah, you know? Well, so I'll match you. I love the movie Baby Driver. Yeah. But you got Kevin Spacey in there. And more than that, producer was Harvey Weinstein. It's hard to separate that sort of thing. And I don't know, I think we're Hollywood's getting to a better direction where stuff like that kind of is like not. I'm hoping it doesn't happen anymore. Obviously, there's no way of knowing because it happens. Like, weird, horrible, disgusting shit is gonna happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's tough. Like, I really want to watch Baby Driver. I think it's a great movie. I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it just because of all that. Yeah, it's tough. Godzilla has no sexual assault allegations against him, so I'm good at that end. So I can watch my Godzilla go free.
Good. This is gonna be the one time a headlight breaks out tomorrow.
Dude, no way. Oh God, no. That'd be. Oh man, damn it.
Yeah. All those controversies. I've watched all the Bond movies like a few years ago, and the things that really stick out to me were like the treatment of women.
Yeah, that is very apparent.
So I was really anticipating going into this having that be the focal point of the conversation, but when I found out about all this, I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to push that one to the back burner a little bit because apparently there's some more shit going on in here.
Something I just kind of wanted to bring up too, like that really rubbed me in a weird way. When Bond rescues like Honey near the end of the movie, she doesn't have pants on.
Is she not wearing her bikini top bottoms anymore? Or?
No, that she
Or
in the end scene she had like
changed,
pink.
didn't
She had pink pants, and then the next scene when he rescues her, they're just gone.
You know what? I already fuck man like that. I don't like the ending of this movie. So
No,
like,
they
I
just
really
make out on a
into
boat. It's just
Yeah. Well, no, like even before that. Like,
oh.
But originally, that scene where she's getting rescued from, they had like it was like a crab pit, so all the crabs are supposed to like start pinching her for whatever reason. And then when the crabs got to set, they had all like died in transit or something like that. So like they just had to come up with some backup plan. And the idea was like just to have that same area, but like the water's just rising to drown her. So I don't know. Maybe that was the reason her pants weren't on, is so the crabs got. I don't fucking know, man. I just, not to excuse it or anything like that.
I mean, we all know where the logic went. Let's be really clear. Everybody working on this film was a pervert. Let's just keep it a buck. All right.
Yeah. And I was really trying to figure out how to feel about Sean Connery, because he's not innocent either.
No, he's certainly not.
All the behind-the-scenes things that I could find about this movie were saying that he was like a really nice guy on set and like treated everyone very respectfully, including the women. But then, like, you know, I think it was like in '87, he's literally on the news, and someone asked him if it's okay to hit a woman, and he was like, "Yeah,
sure."
Huh?
What did you say?
The interviewer goes, "You're going to be getting a lot of mail." And he goes, "Females, too."
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, in my memory of this movie, I thought we'd have a couple Bond movies to go through before we started getting into the real problematic things.
There was like at least 4 different women he banged in this movie.
Yeah. I do think that this is somehow one of the better Connery movies as far as that goes, which I never know what to make of it.
Obviously, modern Bond has gotten a lot better. But this isn't the modern Bond. This was the first Bond. And
I saw some review of this that was like, damn, Daniel Craig looks really weird in this movie.
Yeah, he's not blonde. It's crazy. I think he aged great.
Yeah. To move on from it, do you have like a standout thing that you actually liked about the movie? Like, obviously this is all the shit I hate about it. But...
No, I mean, honestly, watching this movie kind of reminded me how much I actually like mystery movies and like spy movies. Like I genuinely do like that sort of stuff. So this kind of reminded me how much I do enjoy it, and I love it when a character, like obviously I like it when characters are relatable, but when a character is also like the smartest one in the room but not a dick about it. And I think Connery pulled this off well with his interpretation of Bond, where he's like, he's not a master of everything, but he knows enough about enough things to be dangerous.
Right.
Like his first conversation with his boss, he's like, "What do you know about toppling?" He's like, and he goes, "Oh, kind of like da 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 da," something like that. He goes, "Yeah, something like that." And it's just like, it shows that he's not like a super genius, but he's well versed. And if you're going to be a 007, you kind of have to be.
Yeah, I really enjoy how they show his intellect rather than like other movies where they just have some exposition done from the villain being like, "Do you know what this guy all has done?" Mm-hmm. And they just say every accomplishment.
No, I like that there was no exposition in this movie. Like, near none.
Yeah, I mean, as far as not as, like, explaining who Bond is.
Or, like, what a 007 is. Like, they just...
Yeah.
Like, he just is.
You just gotta accept it, yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Because, like, they don't go into, like, what even is the 00 program in the first place. And, like, who's 1 through 6, you know?
Mm-hmm. Are there more? Are there less?
Is Felix Leiter, is he a 00 agent? I would assume so, right?
I don't know enough about the Bond lore to know.
Sure. I forgot that the Felix Leiter characters was in this because I know him from Casino Royale, where Jeffrey Wright plays him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, I guess that's a real character. But that was about the end of that thought process.
Dude, I've only seen 2 Bond movies. I'll keep it real.
Have you really? Oh, I thought you've seen a lot more than that.
No.
What have you seen?
This one and Casino Royale.
You know what? You picked a good one.
Mads Mikkelsen.
He's pretty good.
He's
pretty good.
I know. That's why I watched it.
Do we want to address that the reason we're doing these are like our backup episodes in case something falls through?
Sure, why not? Hey, everybody. In case, because we don't want to take another 8-month gap. Mm-hmm. So if you're hearing this, that means something went wrong. But it's okay, because we have backups.
If you ever hear us talking about Bond, that's what happened.
That's tragic. Oh, wow, they've had 5 Bond episodes in a row. Must be hard times.
Can you imagine
times must
we
be
get
tough.
through all 25 of
we get to the last one. Shit, Bryce, we need a new one to come out right now. We're fucked.
No, I was thinking about it, like, when we finish all these, let's just do the Austin Powers movies to celebrate.
No, it's weird. I've seen more Austin Powers movies than James Bond movies. And there's only 3.
Yeah. I've definitely watched those more. Like, Spy Who Shagged Me is just...
Well, that is my bag, baby.
Comedies. Yeah. When I was watching through all these movies, I did it chronologically the first time.
Okay.
And I watched the Powers movies, like, as they were coming out. Because they were coming out pretty much interchangeably with Pierce Brosnan movies, which is just... really funny to me. And I think the first one, let me look this up. I think that the first, I think all of them are on the same years. I don't even think they're interchanging years. I think they're all, which is just ridiculous. But gotta love them. I mean, we have not talked about this movie at all.
But you know what? We've covered very important topics, and I'm happy that we did. But let's get into the movie. Let's talk about that shoe.
The shoe. Yeah, I already forgot what the hell you were talking about when you brought this.
So, like, you know, at the beginning where, like, they kill the secretary. I believe she's Shang Wei's assistant.
Yeah.
They do this, like, they take her body, whatever. They leave a shoe, and then the shoe is just simply never even addressed. I thought it was going to come up later, like a Cinderella type thing, and then it just never does.
Yeah. I love when they go into that scene and they're like, is that blood on the floor? And then it's just a hard cut to blood on the floor.
Yeah.
Like,
And then they go, yep, that's blood on the floor. And, okay. Already we gotta take a pause. This is gonna sound very dark. When somebody gets shot, it's a lot more than that.
Yeah. That looks like a nosebleed.
And I've seen bloodier nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah. I thought I was going to critique this more, but it only really happened 2 times. But that sequence where they do shoot her, there's like such a weird edit where they like fire at the gun and then it like cuts like...
Yes, it's a really weird hard
of...
cut. And then another one happens like in the same building, but later with Bond. For seemingly no reason. There's just a weird... Like, those 2 weird ones threw me off. I know exactly what you're talking about. I thought it was going to happen more, and I'm like, oh, well, it's just no movie. No, only those 2 spots. So I'm like, well, what happened?
Yeah, and I don't know why they chose to do that, because it's like clearly they didn't have something else to cut to. Like, they only took one angle of the scene. But it's just like, okay, well, that's what you got, man. You got to use it. Like, it looks weirder when you cut literally a millisecond.
See, my original thought was when the first cut happened, it was right before she got shot, and then it happened, and then she got shot. My thought was, like, in place of a stunt double. But, like, you fall on the ground.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult of a stunt. And based on the way they treated women on the set, I don't think they would give her a stunt double. Let's keep it real.
Well, and I thought that what they would have done is do the cut and then show her, like, bloody after the cut. But they don't make her any bloodier. She, like, looks the same. She just falls down. She might as well have just gotten, like, hit, you know?
Well, she was. She got hit with a bullet.
Do we want to be one of those podcasts that just, like, goes through the whole movie scene by scene?
No,
like,
I don't.
These notes. Okay.
But I mean, we can't. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Listen here, folks. This is just what it is. Things are just going to happen. There's no rhyme or reason to what we're doing here. We're just having a good time.
But, like, we're talking about those, like, the character of Bond. Talking about that scene I was mentioning about how there's no scene of someone being like, oh, this is all the things that they accomplished. It's just that scene with him, M, and Moneypenny. And they're just having a conversation that, like, clearly this guy's been working here for years at this point. And after M and Bond are done talking, he goes to Moneypenny before he even opens... Before, like, they even show Bond in the room, they show M pressing the button to talk to the secretary.
To be like, hey, none of the usual banter.
007's in a hurry. And then, like, they don't talk.
And I love, like, that cut to, like... Bond, like, about to sit down and talk, and then he's like, oh, nope, never mind, okay, I gotta go. Like,
yeah.
I thought that was very funny, and I really appreciate it, because it does show, like, a depth of, like, character and understanding between these 3, even, like, right off the rip, which is nice, because they didn't have to use exposition to explain it. They just showed. They didn't tell us, they showed us, and I really do appreciate that when it comes to exposition.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's, like, so good to the point where you kind of wish that there was more scenes of them in the movie, because you just kind of like seeing their interactions. Now, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know where they would be in the rest of the movie, but...
Maybe
like,
at the end, instead of the ending we
more,
got.
which is nice. Yeah. I do like that the movie just, like, knows when it's done. They're like, all right, like, let's get out of here.
Some movies nowadays need to take a hint from that playbook and know when it's done. Like, fuck, I feel like I'm watching a movie and it ends like 6 different times.
It is weird, like, how weirdly paced these older Bond movies can be. But it's just because, like, it was the first of, like, a certain kind of movie where, like, they have a whole scene of Bond putting dust on briefcase and then licking his hair and sticking it onto the door. And, like, the whole thing probably doesn't take that long, but if that were to come out today, they would definitely be doing quick cuts of pew, 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 pew.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it is really weird how it feels really slow and like you're kind of listening to an audiobook in certain scenes, you know? But at the same time, it knows when the movie's done. Like I just said, they don't have that scene where they go back to the 00 headquarters and be like, great job today, Mr. Bond. And then they all hug and high five. And then they're like, no, like the place exploded. We're done. And then the movie ends.
Wait, hold up. Quick pause on that. Can we all agree that James Bond set off a nuclear explosion on this island? Like, we can all agree to that, right? Like, that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Was it really worth it to stop a missile from going into space? Was it really worth it?
Dude, I don't even think I fully understand what Dr. No's plan is.
So, he was using radio waves that were powered by radiation to stop like these missiles from going off, which prevented like the American space race, so they would lose and it would prove Dr. No's superior intellect for Spectre or whatever. It's not the best plot.
No.
Not at all.
No. And like that's why like the ending of the movie doesn't really work for me as much, because like everything after the air quote dragon, I kind of like check out.
Dude, that thing was so... Why would they... Like, what was the point of having a flamethrower tank? I mean, okay, I understand it was like to deter people from the island.
Yeah.
But like...
Get something else.
What the fuck? And then they killed Q.
And like the fact that...
Those bastards.
Yeah, Quarrel, yeah. And it's just so goofy because like even as an audience member, you see that thing from however far away it is. And it's like, that's not
a dragon.
That is a vehicle.
Like, is the movie implying that, like, people from Kingston are easily manipulated into thinking a machine is a dragon? Because that's a whole other problematic situation if we're going on that route. Like, you look at it, you're like, so like, the white guy is the one that knows that it's clearly not a dragon. Like... it's bad optics, man. It's
he's a 00 agent.
Well, I'm not, and I could tell that wasn't a fucking dragon. I've seen dragons. That's not a dragon.
Yeah. And it's so funny that, like, they painted the teeth on the front of the tank. Or it's like a tractor, isn't it? It's like they painted teeth on the front of it.
It looks like a Cybertruck. I'll keep it real. No, you know what? I take it back. The dragon in Dr. No looks better than a Cybertruck. I would drive around the dragon.
Functional.
I wouldn't drive around a Cybertruck.
I think I'm there with you, man. I would prefer to drive in a truck that has a flamethrower.
See, it solves my road rage issues.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, that is a joke. That is a joke. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to cut me off ever again.
You might be onto something.
Yeah, the vibe of this movie is all over the place, like, all the time. Like, I can't tell if it's trying to be serious or if it's trying to be cheesy. If they were trying to be serious with that dragon tank, it didn't work.
Yeah, see, that was a criticism that actually was addressed when the movie came out. Like, I got a review from Bosley Crowther from May 30th, 1963, when the movie premiered in the States. So here's some experts from it, or experts? What's the difference between expert?
Excerpt. An expert is somebody who is a master of their field. An excerpt is a piece of written language pulled from a specific piece.
I am not an expert at podcasting. So this is what he has to say. It is strictly a tinseled action thriller spiked with a mystery of sort. For the crime-detecting adventure that Mr. Bond is engaged in here is so wildly exaggerated, so patently contrived, that it is obviously silly and not to be believed. The ending is a bit too extravagant and silly, and likewise too frantic and long. But something outrageous had to be found with which to end the reckless going-ons. And, like, looking at other reviews of the time, like, critics really couldn't seem to come to the conclusion if the movie was trying to be silly or not. And I'm kind of, like, I want to to get your opinion on where the tone is on this thing, because
First off, I want to comment on saying it was too frantic and long. An hour 50 is nothing now.
dude, this is one of the shorter Bond movies. Is that not insane?
It did fly by pretty quickly. I thought it went by pretty quick.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Definitely.
They didn't waste time with filler.
Yeah, no, I mean, every scene from my memory is necessary. It does get a little convoluted at times, but that's kind of what you want in one of these movies.
Right.
But I don't know, I think Dr. No's plan does make me check out, and that's where I start to glaze a little bit. And it's just because I just don't think it's a great performance. I was really hoping what would happen is that when Dr. No shows up, knowing going into that it is Yellowface, I was really hoping that he would give a good performance through all the makeup, and I could just say, dude, you didn't need the makeup to make this guy intimidating. But for me, his best scene is when he's not on screen and he's just talking to the guy in the room with just a chair in it. And he is such a plank of wood in this movie.
Anytime else. Which is crazy because he has two metal hands that could be such a cool thing, and they hardly touch on it, and they don't look great either. It looks like they stuffed fake hands within his sleeves that he could control with his other hands instead of I don't know, making robot gloves that he could just wear.
They make a point to show that the hands are really strong because he crushes that statue, but then when he's falling,
which by the way, he crushes a gold statue, and obviously, I can't crush gold in my hand. Gold is the most malleable metal on the planet. Anyways.
But so he's falling to his death, and his metal hands can't grip the metal pole to squish it to pull himself up. Dude, what are we doing? What's the point of the hands then if you're not going to use them? And they do make up for this in later Bond movies with a character named Jaws, who his main character trait is that he has metal jaws that can bite anything.
Anything,
buddy.
Anything.
Put it in. So it is weird, right? It is weird. The tone. I do think that this movie does get away with more than it should just because of how confident it feels in what it's doing. And maybe a part of that confidence does come from they kept repeating this formula so many times with all the other Bond movies that it's just accepted that this is what it is now. And it's that's what a spy movie is. And we just don't know any different. And not that they're bad by any means. No. But I think that confidence behind the camera makes up for a lot in as far as that kind of critique is considered. This could be a lot worse if the guy behind the camera was yeah, I think, yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it sounds like that this director was a bit of a James Bond-esque character in and of himself. He was very suave. He was always in a suit when he was in these filmings and very classy, apparently, besides when he was, assaulting women. Jesus Christ. But, it sounds like he was very much the character, so he kind of knew what the character needed. And the one-liners that are in this movie, they did the first one, and in the order that they shot it in, the first one was when the hearse is falling down the cliff and explodes, and Bond's oh, they must have been on their way to a funeral. Once he did that, that's where that quippy nature started, and I think that's exactly where the tone of the movie was that's what it is. And
see, here's the thing: you say that I feel some of the quips actually were really good. There's one he's got the professor, and the professor's grabs his gun to shoot him, but the gun's empty, and Bond says it's a Smith & Wesson, and you've had your 6. I feel that was actually pretty badass in my opinion because he was so calm the whole time. He counted exactly the amount of bullets, and it's just he wasn't worried for a second. I don't know. Obviously, yes, the one-liners were getting weird, but that one I thought was pretty cool.
No, I'm not complaining about the one-liners. Now, they are going to get worse. They are going to get worse. But in this movie, I do think that the tone that this movie's going for is kind of in those one-liners where it's like this really stoic guy saying this silly line during an extreme situation. That's the tone. And
see, here's the thing, though. I'm not completely stoic, but I usually say one-liners in a pretty stressful situation a lot of the time.
yeah, and maybe you could be Bond.
No. Well, now here's the question: must Bond be played by a British person?
I think so. I think we Americans have too much already. Let them have Bond.
Sean Connery. Dude, he gives the worst accent work in every movie he does.
That's so funny.
Like The Hunt for Red October, he's supposed to be a Russian submarine captain. He's a Scotsman. In Highlander, he's supposed to be a Spaniard. He sounds Scottish.
In Indiana Jones, he's supposed to be an American.
He's Scottish.
But my favorite one-liner is at near the top of the movie where the chauffeur tries to kill him and then he gets the upper hand on him. Or I guess he doesn't. He bites the cigarette and he kills himself. But he drives the car to the resort or wherever the hell, and the guy who comes to take his keys from him, he's like, make sure he doesn't go anywhere. And he's just dead in the back seat of the car. Keep an eye on him. I like that one. That one made me laugh.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that hearse really quickly. That hearse was funny from the start. Like, when they first kill that guy, at the very beginning, they shot and kill him, and then the getaway vehicle is a hearse.
Yeah.
And I just find that really funny.
That's what I mean by the tone of the movie. That they do something really extreme by killing a guy, and then they do a visual gag to even it out a little bit.
Which, I'm a big sucker for visual gag. Don't get me wrong. I love good visual gag. But I feel like even at the beginning of the movie, I wasn't sure what it was going for. But then later, when the hearse is diverted and it's driving down that cliff, it just starts to blow up. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how did it blow up? Why is it catching fire?
Don't you, Drake, when a car hits anything, it's gonna blow up.
I hit a deer 2 months ago and I didn't explode. That's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. That's not bullshit. That actually happened, and I'm still here. I did not spontaneously combust. All right?
Oh, God.
Write it down in the annals of history. Michael Bay, go fuck yourself. I hope one day I get to work with Michael Bay, and then he watches this and he goes, "Hey."
Yeah. No, the scene where they do fall off the cliff, the rear projection of Bond driving the car is so bad.
It is such a classic staple of that time, though.
Oh my
that's
God.
just what it was.
And you're watching the way that he's driving the car, and he turns the wheel left 9 times in a row. It's like, dude, you would have been off the cliff.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm like,
beforehand.
this guy doesn't know how to drive a car. Going off of that, though, the action sequences were actually pretty decent.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They aren't long, but it's not like those action movies where you're just waiting for the release of someone gonna get punched in the face, and then they cut it so hard that you don't even see him swing, and then they're just on the ground. So they are filmed in a solid way. They're not mind blowing, but these could be so much worse.
Which you've seen worse in modern movies, which is crazy.
Yeah. Have you seen that clip of The Dark Knight Rises where Batman's fighting all those guys, and then there's just one stunt man in the background who just falls over after not getting hit whatsoever?
Yeah.
We could have
I'll take it a step further. Episode 8, The Last Jedi for Star Wars.
Yep.
The fight scene with all the red guards where they literally CGI remove weapons because otherwise they would have won. One's got Rey in a chokehold and he had a knife, and then he did not have a knife. It's where'd that go?
The Force, Drake, the Force.
That's not how the Force works.
They change it every movie, dude.
We'll talk about that.
We will get into that. Going way back to like the plot of the movie with the space race and all that, the Bond franchise is pretty good about taking like real world issues at the time and like making Bond face them in one way or another. And I do think that like makes it, I don't know, I kind of like when movies do that, where they like take it's still the escape that you want when you go to a movie, but it like makes you feel good about the current situation. It's like, whoa, we're gonna be all right after all, you know. Like the most recent Mission Impossible movies where Tom Cruise is fighting AI as the main villain. It's like, oh no, and then he plugs in the computer chip and we're saved. Yay!
Yippee!
But a real world thing that happened around the time that this was filmed, a very famous portrait of the Duke of Wellington had like just been stolen. So one of the writers of the movie thought it'd be funny if they put the portrait in Dr. No's house, like, which is such a funny touch. There's even like a brief moment where like it's when they're going to have like the dinner, and Bond is walking like toward the steps, and he passes the portrait, takes a step back, does a double take of it, and then keeps going forward.
See, I didn't know that when I was watching it, so that does. I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that you got to know for it to be funny. Which I mean, like, I guess they weren't really thinking long term when they made that joke, but knowing it makes it funnier.
These films are definitely a little dated. Like how Honey was talking about how this shell is worth like $50 on the coast, and you're like, $50, that's nothing. $50 in 1962 converted today is about $540.
It's a pretty nice shell.
Yeah, so like I'd be upset too. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it's always tough to watch like movies that are with the currency rates at a different place. I was watching one thing one time. Fuck, let me look it up before I misspeak.
I was watching Pulp Fiction, and the scene where those two are in the diner and she orders a $5 milkshake, and he's just flabbergasted. He's like, what, did they put like gold on it? No, it's just a milkshake. He goes, $5 for a milkshake? And I'm like, fuck, man. This sucks. I wish milkshakes were only $5. What the hell?
Oh, okay. So, it's the movie City Lights, the Charlie Chaplin movie. So there's this character who's like really struggling to pay her rent on time. And then they show the late notice bill, and it's $22 for rent. I'm like, I don't give a... No, you're fine. I don't care anymore. Like,
shut the hell up.
Stop rooting.
$22 for rent? That sounds like luxury.
Yeah, I even did the math at the time for inflation, and I believe it was like $400 for rent. Like, get the fuck out of here. Shut up.
Oh, this is bullshit. I hate it here.
Yeah. God, that one really pissed me off when I like to the point where I stopped rooting for the characters. It's like, get your life together, man. Just
like, you assholes, how dare you?
I want to talk very quickly about one of my favorite edits of the movie for all the wrong reasons. It's the spider attack. Because how goofy it is. First of all, the plan for the spider is absolutely insane. I know it reminded you of a certain scene.
Do you want me to quote the whole thing?
I do. I really want you to do.
Okay. So Bryce, I want to be clear. Bryce in the notes wrote down, the attempt to use the spider to kill Bond is very Attack of the Clones worms scene. And there's a certain meme that's been going around for about 10-ish years, and Bryce was like, hey, can you recite the meme for the episode today? And I said, first off, how dare you assume that I can? Second of all, yes, I can. So, for everybody listening, I hope you enjoy this. So, Palpatine wants to kill Padme, but he doesn't want to do it, so he sends Count Dooku to go kill Padme. But he doesn't want to do it, so he sends Jango Fett to go kill Padme. But he doesn't want to get his hands dirty, so he sends another bounty hunter to go kill Padme. But she doesn't want to do it. So she sends a droid to go kill Padme, and if you really want to get into it, that droid sends 2 bugs to go kill Padme. So this whole thing is about a guy who sends another guy, who sends another guy, who sends a girl, who sends a droid, who sends a bug to go kill Padme. And it didn't even work.
Thank you so much for doing
This theater degree pays for itself.
So in the case of Dr. No, you have Dr. No who wants to kill Bond, but he doesn't want to do it. So
He's on the island.
So he sends Professor Dent to do it, but he doesn't want to do it. So he sends a tarantula to do it, and it doesn't work. And it's like he had to break into the room and get the tarantula under the sheets for this to work. And Bond didn't notice that a gigantic tarantula was under the sheets before he got into bed. So he's sleeping, and the tarantula crawls up on him. And you can clearly tell that they put like a pane of glass on top of Connery so that way the tarantula didn't have to touch him. And then he freaks out. He throws the tarantula on the ground and he beats it to death with his shoe. And the stingers of the musical score every time he hits the thing is like dun 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 dun.
You know what the funniest part is? Most tarantula venom is non-lethal to humans.
You just can't think that hard about it, man.
No.
And, you want to talk about things that should have hurt people more? Let's talk about the photographer breaking the light bulb and scratching Quirrell's face, and he doesn't even flinch.
But then the rest of the movie, he's kind of a little bitch. He just takes that shit. It's broken glass. She just slashes his face, and he's just like, huh?
Yeah, no, I don't even know if he blinked, to be honest.
I don't think he did.
It's just...
Oh, let's do another one. Let's talk about Puss Feeler.
Puss Feeler, dude.
That's a dude's name. And he grabs Bond, and then Quirrell goes, hey, you can't get out of him. He wrestles alligators. Why? And then, not 5 seconds later, Bond does in fact get
Puss Feeler.
Puss Feeler off of him with ease.
Yep.
So I don't know if he's wrestling baby alligators or something, but
which is a whole other problem.
Why are you beating up baby alligators, man?
I do.
This franchise is known and rightfully gets a lot of flack for the ridiculous names of women, but this guy, we don't hear anything about him.
Even in this movie, dude, her name's Honey Rider. I
didn't even get that. Holy shit. God.
The name's Dixie. Dixie
Normus. Ivana Humpalot.
God damn it. Did I ever tell you that I was out at a bar on Halloween a few years ago, and I saw these 2 twins walking around, and I couldn't tell what the hell they were supposed to be. And then I saw this, 6 at best guy dressed as Austin Powers, and these 2 twins dressed as the Fook Me, Fook You twins were with him the whole night. It's how'd you convince them to do it? Twins, Basil!
Fook you.
Twins!
You kiss your mother with that mouth? Twins, Basil, twins. No, as somebody who has seen more of the Austin Powers movies than Bond movies, the opening sequence was a real flashbang for me. With all the colors and of the silhouettes dancing, I was what movie am I about to watch right now? Did I pick the wrong thing? Am I about to watch The Spy Who Shagged Me?
Yeah, the dancing is... I don't think that happens again. And with the spider, Bond is terrified of this non-lethal spider. And then he sleeps on a beach, completely out in the open with no tent. And he's totally fine in that situation.
He could get hit by high tide.
He could be washed away. But the beach, like, brings me to, like, the whole other thing that is that, like, this franchise and, you know, specifically this movie has great use of, like, their locations, and, like, the production design by Ken Adams is just legendary. I mean, like, the sets in this thing are gigantic, and even when they're filming outside, it still looks great. Like, it's hard to choose a preference with which area you'd prefer to be in, because, like, Dr. No's apartment is really cool to look at. And
oh, yeah.
like, the bearskin rugs all over the place, and, like, the gigantic aquarium. Just really unique stuff where it's like,
there's a tree.
Yeah. Like, I'd live there. That's like, that place looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
And then, like, you go outside, and it still looks great. You know, sometimes you go outside, and, like, they don't know how to light anything, you know, but they, like, fully show, like, the waves crashing in the background. They're like, no, you can't fake that.
They're there.
So that's something I always appreciate about it. And, like, they choose these locations. They utilize them, so it's like this could only happen in Jamaica, you know? Like, this couldn't be, like, any random beach, you know?
It could not be Nashota Beach.
Absolutely not. No, this... Can you imagine having an action sequence during, like, the Kite Festival in Two Rivers, Wisconsin?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, maybe we should send a message to the Jeff Bezos about the next Bond movie.
You said it once a while ago. I can't believe we're at the point where billionaires are making tweets, and that might genuinely affect the casting for Bond.
Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes when these big companies are in charge of these movies, it is cool that they have just, like, this fuck you money and they can spend $300 million on an F1 movie. Like, Apple's a 3 whatever trillion dollar company. They're like, yeah, sure, well, this production company is just a little hobby of ours. And I like that they can do that. Now, that doesn't mean the products are good, but I don't know. I like that there is an aspect to filmmaking that can exist in. I don't know. It is weird that a tweet can affect James Bond. So
yeah.
But
I did want to do, speaking of like going back to like flashbacks, when Bond first meets Honey, he says, "I assure you my intentions are strictly honorable." They say that in the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie, right before, like, the swords come up through the rafters and, like, land in their hands. And that really just took me back. I'm like, is that really where they got that from? And I, like, this whole time watching this, I'm like, holy shit, so many things are, like, from this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's which one is it? It's You Only Live Twice. Like, when we get to that movie, you're gonna be shocked at how many things came from that movie that, like, really? That's the Bond movie that everyone's pulling shit from? That's also the movie that I thought I'd have to save all my Yellowface talk for. We're not done yet with that shit. But
oh boy. I really can't wait.
And then, like, I guess, like, the only other thing, unless you got anything else, there's this one shot in the movie that gets me excited every single time I watch this movie. And it's when Bond is snooping around the lair and he's crawling through, like, the pipes. And he's clearly, like, struggling to do this, the actor. And he falls down and, like, the tripod knocks over slightly. And it just shows, like, how gritty guerrilla style of filmmaking they had. Like, I don't know why they didn't shoot it again, but it really, like, affirmed that, like, oh shit, he's really doing this right now. And I don't know, it's, like, such a, like, I'm glad that that's the only time that thing happens. I don't know, it's really charming. Like, 60s movies, I've come to learn, are, like, kind of comfort films for me. Like, it's just such a different era of movie making where, like, they do take their time with things. They're way more laid back about them. Like, we're gonna get into it later, but, like, Goldfinger, I watch that shit all the time, dude. Like,
really?
That one's creeping up my ranking. I do have my issues with it, and we'll get into it whenever we eventually cover that movie. But there's just something about it that, like, it just gets that tone right. It's such a vibe. You could just chill out and watch it. Like, it's like Goldfinger and Planet of the Apes are just, like, two ones that I'm just constantly burning through. I don't know if it's like purely 60s or if it's just anything pre-70s or something for me. I don't know, but coming to that realization was kind of fun, and like this knocking of the tripod is kind of one of the things that led me to that conclusion.
Yeah, it kind of gives it that, like, made it home feel, almost. Like, there's something about movies made back then that, that kind of fun little thing just doesn't really happen anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you will not see the camera shake unintentionally in a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah. Like, nowadays we're complaining about shaky cam.
I like a good shaky cam.
Do you?
I don't mind it.
It got to a point, though, like in the early 2010s, where it just got egregious, where you couldn't even tell what was happening certain times. Like,
oh, yeah. I mean, it got too much, but a little bit here and there, I don't mind.
Yeah. Sometimes it pulls you in more because you're trying to focus in. Mm-hmm. Like, one of my favorite uses of it is in Man of Steel, where he, like, pushes off the ground and starts flying, and the camera shakes because, the idea is that, like, you, the audience, are trying to keep up with Superman, and you, like, can't. Like, you're just jittering, like, trying to hold your focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I like when they use it for narrative reasons like that, but that's the only example I can think of at the same time.
Sure.
That's about all I got. You got anything else?
Yeah. No, I do want to ask you one quick question before we head off. So how do you feel when we spend time with a villain without Bond or any protagonist present?
I really want you to take the wheel on this one, to be honest with you, because, like, in the case of this movie, my favorite scene with Dr. No is the one that he's not in the movie, where he's not on screen, and that's what, like, led me to getting here, because my problem with it sometimes is that when the audience knows something that the protagonist doesn't, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, should we be in the shoes of the protagonist? Like, does that add tension? Or, like, does just a spider showing up on Bond, is that just enough? Like, do we need that scene to be in there? And, like, if that scene, the spider scene plays out exactly the same way, and then we've realized that someone's, like, watching in the corner or some shit like that, and they're like, wait, you put this here, and then we kind of get the information that way. Like, like, there's ways around it in this case. I don't know how to feel about it. Where are you at on that?
So I think the way of an antagonist or a villain is lost in modern storytelling. I say this, well, like, whenever there's a movie and there's a good guy or a bad guy, we almost always get the villain's POV. And Marvel is very bad about this, where they try to, like, make the villain relatable and have, like, a just reason and, like, try and make you feel sympathetic. I don't like that. I don't like... Why do you want to care about the villain? Like, they're villains. You're supposed to hate them.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, you do sometimes, though, right? Like, we all like Thanos, don't we?
Well, we like Thanos because he was such a good villain.
Right.
We don't like him because his ideas were justified.
Right. But, like, what makes him the good villain then? You know what I mean?
Well, I think, truthfully, what makes him the good villain is that Infinity War was his movie.
Right. Because he's the protagonist. Yeah, fair. Okay, maybe that's not the best example, but, like... Or how about Killmonger? What do you think about Killmonger? Because we spent a few scenes with him just by himself.
Sure. Killmonger is a special case because he was more like the dichotomy of how to help a people. Both T'Challa and Killmonger wanted to help their people, but it was an ideological difference. Whereas there's no ideological difference. There's just Bond stopping this guy from fucking with the space race.
Yeah.
This one isn't the best example either because it's stupid, but I like it when we don't know what the villain's intentions or motives are, and I think it's okay for a villain to just be bad.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying I prefer, like, I want only one. Like, I do like having the reasoning sometimes, but sometimes I just like Puss in Boots and The Last Wish. You got perfect examples of three different kinds of villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got like the misunderstood one with Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah.
You got the reincarnation of death. Straight up.
Fantastic quote, by the way. And then you have the dick villain.
Yeah, who just wants greed. That's all. He just wants
power and to be better than everybody else. He doesn't care. He sacrifices his own men just for shits.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Jiminy Crick. He's like, oh, you're just horrible. You're horrible. You're an irredeemable monster. And he goes, oh, what took you so long, idiot? Honestly, that movie creeps up for me more and more.
Yeah, it's really good.
It shouldn't be good.
No, it should not be.
The Puss in Boots Last Wish movie should not be good. It's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, man. I really enjoy that movie. I'm not afraid to admit it, but I do find it embarrassing how high up my, top movies of all time it is.
Mm-hmm. But no, that is a good point. That movie has the perfect example of all three kinds of villains you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see too many of the misunderstood villain.
Yeah.
I think we need more of the Jack Horners,
Yeah. Like you said, this villain's not executed great in the first place.
No.
But what do you think? Do you think he would have been better if it was just more of those scenes where he's just a voiceover? Or do you think you need the actual presence there near the end of the movie?
Well, I think you said it best. His presence, with just the voice was terrifying. And then when he was actually there, it was like, oh, he's just a nerd. Just a nerd doing yellow face. It's just...
the nerdiest thing of all,
Dude, straight up. So, I don't know. I think if there was more, him, controlling it behind the scenes, I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, because Blofeld is the Bond villain that gets, repeated the most. Maybe have the professor be, the face of the operation this time, and then, in a later Bond movie, reveal that Blofeld, rather than Dr. No, to be, the one that was behind the scene, this creepy voice. Which, interestingly enough, the actor Anthony Dawson, who played that professor, ended up playing Blofeld in a later rendition of these movies. Just a little fun fact for you.
Very nice.
But, I mean, obviously, anything, there are exceptions, and it comes down to execution.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. I do think it bugs me when we spend too much time with a villain overall.
If I wanted to spend time with the villain, just make the movie about the villain.
Yeah, make Megamind.
Exactly.
Presentation!
A fantastic scene.
It's a great scene.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, with that, thanks for tuning into today's episode. If you've enjoyed this one, be sure to like, comment, and follow along so you know when we release another episode. As always, I'm Drake, and this is Bryce, and this has been Oh Brother. See you in the next one.